One of our favorite sponsors is back with us, Sunset Lake CBD.
Yeah.
If you're looking for CBD that actually does what CBD is supposed to do, look no further than our friends over at Sunset Lake.
Let me break it down.
Break it down, Mel.
They're sustainably farmed, meaning they avoid pesticides and use sustainable farming practices to preserve the land for future generations. 1. 2, farm to table. They ship the CBD products straight from their door in Vermont directly to your door wherever you're at.
Now that's cool.
And third party tested. They test everything with a third party to ensure quality, dosage, and safety.
You got to go over and check out sunsetlakecbd.com. They have so many products. Break it down for them, Apple.
Well, they've got some new stuff going on. Like they always had pre-rolls, but now they got really cool packaging for it. And you can get CBD pre-roll flights of all their flavors. You can get the heavy hitter flight that also throws in some of their Keef blunts. They have a new CBD recovery body lotion.
I'm excited about that.
Mm-hmm.
And what was the other?
The other one with arnica.
The extra strength muscle rub, 3,000 milligram with 5% lidocaine.
So look,
Oh, yeah,
if you're
lidocaine.
sore, this is the stuff you want to rub on your body to make those aches and pains go away. They even have CBD infused coffee, so you can have coffee without the little jitter that you get from caffeine, and you have it in the morning and you start your day off right. Your body feels lubricated. You're going to sleep good.
Yeah, and also they have, if you kind of forget to reorder, they've got subscriptions.
And they're giving the No Simple Road family 20% off.
20% off.
Put
with
in the promo code NSR20 when you're checking out at sunsetlakecbd.com. You're going to get 20% off your entire order.
NSR20.
And don't forget those cute little gummy bears.
That's right. sunsetlakecbd.com, one of our favorite sponsors, is back. Winter is almost over, and it is time to start thinking about what you are going to be doing in the spring.
Dust off those Birkenstocks.
And that crusty tie-dye that's been hanging in the closet all winter.
Those
Dust
nice
that
shorts.
Yep, dust that shit off and come with us to Skull and Roses Festival, April 19th through the 23rd.
That's right.
At Ventura County Fairgrounds, featuring 2 performances by Phil Lesh and Friends, Dark Star Orchestra, O'Teal and Friends, Leftover Salmon, Melvin Seals and JGB, Grateful Shred,
And the Latin Dead.
Sages and Spirits, Boombox,
Cubensis, China Cats, Jerry's Middle Finger, Forgotten Space, The Alligators, Warlocks of Tokyo, Dogs in a Pile.
Garcia Birthday Band, Circles Around the Sun, Moon Alice. Okay,
I think you get the
You guys
picture.
get the picture. It's 5 days of fun in the sun down on the beach in Ventura, California. And I'll tell you what, if you ever wanted to know what a true to life Grateful Dead show was like, this is the closest you're going to get these days. Tickets are available now. You can go to skullandroses.com and check out all the tiers that they have there. And also you can check out wallofnews.love for all kinds of amazing articles and information on the bands that are going to be playing Skull and Roses
And
this year.
check it out too if you're into like celebrating days and like dressing up and stuff. They're having 5 specific days: Bicycle Day, 420 Day, on 420, Chinese New Year, New Year's Eve, and Mardi Gras.
That's right. So if that's not enough fun for you, I don't know what is. So come on down, spend some time with No Simple Road and all those bands we just mentioned down at Skull and Roses Festival. Go to skullandroses.com. Get your tickets now.
It's on the beach.
It's that time of the day and your stomach has started to growl and you are wondering what to do about it. And No Simple Road is here to make up your mind for you. You should go over to Fire on the Mountain.
Fire on the Mountain.
If you live in Portland or Denver, you got 3 locations here in Portland, 2 locations in Denver.
Lucky you.
They are serving up the best damn chicken wings you ever tasted in your whole entire life. But it's not just wings, everybody. If you are a vegan, they got vegan drumsticks. It's soy protein wrapped on a sugar cane bone.
They're not leaving anybody out.
Yep. And they got the PDX nuggets here, which is breaded soy nuggets, which are also vegan, by the way.
Dang.
And, you know, when you think, like, I'm going to go to a chicken wing place, you're thinking you're not going to eat good. Well, they also have salads. They have, like, a buffalo chicken salad, a mandarin salad, a Jamaican jerk salad, peanut chicken tender salad. So it's not just
That Jamaican jerk salad, that Jamaican jerk sauce is so good. It is my favorite still.
And if you're sitting there and you're like, Aaron, I don't live in Portland. I don't live in Denver. Why do I care about Fire on the Mountain? Here's what you should do. You should go to portlandwings.com, hook yourself up with a bottle of sauce and one of their t-shirts, and you can sit at home and have your own private Fire on the Mountain party. That's wherever right. you are.
Don't forget the socks so you can kick your feet up while looking at your socks.
That's right,
your wings.
Man. So please go check out Fire on the Mountain. They are part of the No Simple Road family, and you know what? We love them. You will too. Fire on the Mountain.
At Shop Tour Bus, they are always putting out new designs for you to freshen up your wardrobe. Right now, they've got the wheel pre-order, and it's the 71 Beetle, bound to cover just a little more ground, and they have it in an orange, green, and a blue background.
Shop Tour Bus is the online lot's finest purveyor of Grateful Dead inspired t-shirts, hoodies, stickers, and more. Go to shoptourbus.com online or at shoptourbus on Instagram. You are going to see the coolest shit you have ever seen in your whole entire life.
And then when you order one of those beautifully designed Shop Tour Bus merchandise picks, you might be the winner of a fantastic bootleg that they're going to throw in there. That's right. So they're going to send you your t-shirt in a beautifully designed box and with some little fun trinkets.
All kinds of cool shit comes in that box.
Yeah, pencil to spool your bootleg, maybe some gum, maybe a little Army Man.
You never know what's going to be in there. You got to order it to find out. What were you going to say, Apple?
I was just going to say their chance of getting a bootleg, they just got restocked. Somebody sent them another box of bootlegs. And I was just going to say, I just wore one of my Shop Tour Bus shirts today. They are so comfortable. I can't stress that enough.
All right,
all about comfort.
So when you order,
put in the promo code
No Simple Road, all one word,
and you are going to get free shipping from our family over at Shop Tour Bus. So go check it out. Shoptourbus.com. Put in the promo code No Simple Road.
We're so excited to tell you a bit about today's sponsor, Music Masters Collective. They are a nonprofit organization that produces unique music events, providing opportunities for fans and artists to meet and collaborate in an inspired and creative atmosphere.
Music Masters Collective events give you the opportunity to learn from world-class musicians like Otil Burbridge, Steve Earle, Richard Thompson, former members of the band, the Milk Carton Kids, Nikki Glaspie, the Fab Four, and Sean Colvin, and so many more.
At an event like the Milk Carton Kids Sad Song Summer Camp, happening this July, you can expect immersive classes, evenings of entertainment, excellent food, and a space for a lucky group of folks to learn, co-write, workshop, and perform with like-minded peers, all with the guidance of Kenneth Pattengale, Joey Ryan, and some of their favorite songwriters. This all-inclusive week in the Catskill Mountains of upstate New York is guaranteed to be magical. Scholarships are available and spots are extremely limited, so visit www.sadsongsummercamp.com/simple to learn more. That's www.sadsongsummercamp.com/simple. Check it out.
Hey everyone, Chris Pandolfi from the infamous String Dusters here to let you know that my podcast, Inside the Musician's Brain, is back on the airwaves for Season 4, which means it's time once again to get deep with influential musicians from all across the musical landscape to really understand and translate the lessons of success, failure, inspiration, and hard work that are behind the music and the artists that we love. My guests this season include Rachel Price from Lake Street Dives, Sam Bush, Chris Wood, Chris Funk from The Decemberists, Lindsay Liu, MC Taylor from His Golden Messenger, and more. Check us out, and thanks for listening.
Mel's good at confirming stuff.
Well, I like to be a little prepared.
She is the confirmation corner of No Simple Road.
Yeah, she's keeping the captain's log.
She does have the captain. Hey, now No Simple Road family, what's up, everybody? This is Aaron.
And this is Mel.
And this is Apple.
And I'm Darwin. That's the dog. This week on No Simple Road, we are stoked to have Swiz and Richard from Object Heavy joining us on the show. If you don't know who Object Heavy is, you're welcome. Now you do. You are going to hear some groovy, soulful, funky
Motown Cadillac.
That Cadillac soul
Motown Cadillac.
That's right. If you and listen, when you put this on, I want you to picture in your head driving down the boulevard in a 1972 Cadillac Coupe de Ville with white walls and spoke rims
and
on it.
your shop tour bus hoodie that says "My love is bigger than a Cadillac." Listening to Object Heavy.
Oh shit!
Doing the speed limit.
No, maybe a couple miles an hour under because you got a bag of weed in the glove compartment and it's the 70s.
Yeah, you're going slow.
Yeah.
You're going under the speed limit.
Right.
But we had, all jokes aside, we had an awesome conversation with Object Heavy right before their album release party, like literally hours before. We are sorry, gentlemen, we didn't get to, go see that. We had other plans that night, but what an incredible couple of guys. Thank you, Richard and Swiz, for joining NSR. No Simple Road, man.
Like Mel said, it was the day that we had talked to them. They were here in Portland and they were going to their performance for their album release party
at the Jack London Review.
So their album Love and Gravity is out now on all the streaming platforms. And you know what? This is one of those albums you're going to want to buy on vinyl. I'm just saying.
Yeah, this is definitely a good vinyl album.
It's got that feel. It's a throwback to like Motown, soul. Richard's voice is so smooth. And this conversation was great. Like how they met and how they came together to form this band.
Well, and just how hard Swiz has been working. They went through 14 band members,
holy shit, man.
Yeah, man. Swiz, you really have proved that you deserve a seat at the table. You really have.
That's called tenacity.
Hell yeah.
Hard work, stick-to-itiveness.
You ain't giving up. And then I have one here. It says, if you don't quit, you don't fail.
Wow. Did Swiz say that?
I said it.
Oh.
But we talked about it.
Nice. Well done. We should like make an Instagram post that's just that quote.
Perfect.
If you don't quit, you don't fail.
Yeah,
Melanie.
you just keep on going. Yeah,
what was
you didn't
cool
give up.
about this is, we've been trying to switch it up a little bit. Aaron's been throwing some questions in the front end of some episodes. And then every now and then I'll get inspired to throw a couple questions in the middle. And at the end, actually, I was like, hey guys, can you give us some pointers of like what you would tell like either your younger self or maybe
tell them.
I'm not going to tell you, but there's some really great answers. And just want you to enjoy this interview as much as we all had, partaking in the conversation.
Apple, do they have anything going on? Are they playing anywhere?
They do. I was just about to say that. In fact, they just bounced back up here again.
Oh, shit, really?
They're not in Portland, but this is Friday the 17th. The 17th and the 18th, if you're over in Bend, they're playing the Volcanic Theater Pub 10th anniversary party with the Motet.
Oh shit! Right on.
And then they're bouncing down to Talent Club in Talent, Oregon, and then on back down to California for several dates in Nevada City. I keep hearing about Nevada City.
It's state line,
huh?
Lake Tahoe state line.
Okay,
that's like where Fish was playing when they got canceled, when the fires were going on, and all that stuff. Is that? There's that,
and then I love
Paradise Bay Club or whatever it's called.
March 4th, they're playing the Gnarly Deli with Sostronaut in Chico, California.
Well, it's no Stinky's Fish Camp, that's for sure.
And then they had something really awesome happen to them on Apple.
Apple.
That's when Apple does something to you.
It was because I was going to say on Apple Music.
I like that. That's a new word.
Something's happening on Apple Music for Object Heavy, which is really cool. Their new album Love and Gravity got featured on their Soul Revival, Brown Sugar, and Future Funk editorial playlists. So congratulations. That's huge, there,
man.
guys.
When Apple Podcasts or Apple Music picks up your stuff, it's a definite like rocket booster jet to whatever you're doing.
Well, they deserve it.
It puts your shit in front of so many people's faces. Think about, I don't know, riding the train somewhere or on the subway or taking the bus. Every single person you are on the bus with is on their phone most of the time. And I would say more than half of those people usually have an iPhone. So if your stuff is on one of those Apple playlists, your stuff's moving up.
Oh,
yeah, and all you need to do is like, be cleaning your house with one of these playlists on, and then Object Heavy comes on. You're going to be like, hey, Siri, what is this song?
Whose fucking voice is that, man?
Yeah.
Now Siri's trying to... There she is.
Siri, stop.
Check it out.
Wow, thanks a lot for that.
Wow.
Anyway, everybody, you are going to dig this, and we're going to get to it. We're going to do the business real quick, and then we're going to get you to the interview here with Swiz and Richard. So follow No Simple Road on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at No Simple Road.
And Instagram.
Didn't I say that? Instagram?
No, you said TikTok. You started with TikTok.
Oh, well, I think I said Instagram last. But anyway, we'll go back.
We're
to
on
the
TikTok
tape.
twice.
Yeah, so much. The thing's so nice. Name
it twice.
That's right.
Anyway, those are the social medias. That's our handle. Go follow us over there. That's where you can find out about us. Or you can go to www.nosimpleroad.com.
I prefer that way.
That is the No Simple Road mothership there. You can sign up for our newsletter. You can get merch. Whoa.
That was a mothership.
Was it landing?
It was hovering.
Oh, okay. You can get No Simple Road
whatever you
merch
want
there.
it to be.
You can also sign up for a tarot reading with Mel and I. We use the Grateful Dead
Me and Aaron.
tarot deck, and we will give you a 1-hour tarot reading. Go over there, pay for it, sign up, schedule your time. You hang out with us for an hour on Zoom. It's amazing. You'll love it.
Yeah, you'll get
It's
all the
magic.
stuff. You get a playlist, you get the video back, you get a little email, and then you get a fun memory.
And
I agree with Mel on that too. When I tell people that have not listened, I just tell them to go to the website. Go to the website. It has all the links.
Yep.
You get to see our bios.
And it's
what
a great
we're up
website.
to. Yeah, it is a great website. So go over there.
And we have recently revamped our Patreon.
What?
It is a whole new Patreon universe at patreon.com/No Simple Road. Our producer, Corey, has been producing Side Roads, and it is pretty fucking amazing what he's doing this week. He interviewed Mel for Side Roads. I believe Apple's Side Roads is out. Is that true? Am I telling lies?
I don't know.
You know what? Let's play a clip of Apple's Side Roads.
I was born on a side road far, 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 far.
That's when I hit rock bottom. That's when I did lose control. I was doing nothing but meth and a needle. And
I wanted to talk about that a little too. Like, how bad did it get? Like, what's the longest you were awake?
I was up for 5 days.
Jesus,
5 days
Christ.
straight with very.
So, yeah, you're going to have to tune in. And the only way to tune into that is by becoming a patron. Go to patreon.com/No Simple Road. You get all that content of the Side Roads. You get early access and ad-free episodes of No Simple Road the day that we release. And if you sign up for $5 or more on Patreon, you do get access to our Discord server, and that is where the No Simple Road family hangs out and gets to know each other. So we have a revamped Patreon. Thank you, Corey. Producer
you, Corey, for doing that.
Corey.
Yeah, man.
I can't wait to listen back to my Side Road.
Yeah, I still haven't listened to mine.
I started listening to yours. It's pretty fun.
Wow, I just derailed my brain.
Well, we're object heavy.
Oh, I'm on it. 971-808-1524 is the No Simple Road tepid line. You can call that anytime, day or night, and you know what's going to happen? You're going to leave us some kind of something.
You'd be like, hey guys, this is Mel from No Simple Road. I'm super excited to go to Fish Mexico with my husband and celebrate 25 years of being fun and cute.
Okay.
That's my...
That's a good-
That's your message?
That's a
Yep,
good
that's my
example.
message.
Okay, cool. So that is 971-808-1524. Please call, just tell us something. We miss you.
Yeah.
We want to hear from you.
Yeah, you can even just yell.
Another thing you can
Anything.
do for No Simple Road, if you are so inclined, is go on Apple Podcasts and leave us a review. You just go on there, you click the 5 stars, move on with your day, and you know that the alien overlords are going to be happy with you because you did something nice for somebody else that wasn't yourself.
Yeah.
That's how it works. I promise you. I read it in a
You'll
book
get that
once.
feeling and you'll be like,
Are we the alien overlord?
No, there's others.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
no, not
Oh.
us.
like, what's that feeling? It's good.
It's the
It's
alien
goodness in my
overlords
heart.
Yeah.
making me feel.
And you still have time. We've not had one since January. We need this one.
No,
for
we don't even
February.
have a
You can
love
Okay,
get
look,
one.
I'm going to break it down for y'all. February is the shortest month of the year. There is only 28 days in this month. We are already
Yep.
at the 17th
17th.
today. And I'm going to tell you what, we only got a few days left. We only have 11 days
Come
left
on.
of the month. I did that math that fast in my head.
That was pretty good. He
Yeah.
didn't even use his
I
fingers,
did
toes,
not. I didn't
calculator.
stutter.
Anything.
I'm proud of myself.
Well done,
The
sir.
resveratrol chews are working.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, now I forgot what I was saying there.
971-808-1524.
Oh no, leave us a review, man. Please, somebody. We only have until the 28th. So
And we know that if you already have left a review, you would like to leave another one and you can't. But tell your friend, tell your boyfriend, tell your sister.
that is the last
That's when you
thing.
go back and call the tepid line or send
Yeah.
an email or something like that.
But here's the last bit, man. If you're not down with signing up on Patreon, you don't feel like going on Apple Podcasts, whatever. I understand. Life's busy. You're around other people all the time, and I know there's people that you hang out with that don't know about No Simple Road. The most important thing you can do is tell somebody that you know about the show, because I'm going to tell you what, when somebody tells me about something, when one of my friends or crew tells me about something like, hey, check this thing out because I think you would like it, they know me, I know them, I trust them, and usually 9 times out of 10, whatever they said is dope. So go tell your friends about No Simple Road. Help us build the family, man.
Yeah, you're excited about it. You get them excited about it. And there's something for everyone. My 80-year-old father listens to it. He
Aw.
enjoys it.
Does he really still
Uh,
listen?
Yeah, he does.
Hey, Bob. How's
Thanks,
it going?
Bob.
Love you. Love
We
you,
love
Dad.
you and we can't wait for you to visit again.
Anyway, everybody, that's it. Let's get on with the show. It
Get
is
on with the
time
show.
for Swiz and Richard from Object Heavy. So let's do it. You guys ready?
I'm ready.
Without further ado, the No Simple Road crew gives you
Object Heavy.
Your love, anticipating, across the room. I see you waiting, wondering what you're doing. See your groove, ain't no faking. See your moves and the steps you're taking. Don't get into it. I know you're feeling by yourself. Look at me like there's no one else on you. Ooh, baby, are you with me? Are you listening? Hear the message in the words. We don't need to be alone. Never have to feel alone. And she said, we don't need to be alone. Never have to feel alone. No, we don't need to be alone. Never have to feel alone. Oh yeah, we don't need to be alone. Never have to feel alone. Now I know that you feel me. Now you know I'm gonna be here for you. Ain't no reason feeling lonely. Take the reins all the same, baby. Do what you do. Trust in me. You will see. I look at you like there is no one else to see. Oh, baby, can you show me all the good in the world? Hear my message in the words I said. We don't need to be
What's up, guys?
All right, I think we're
You're good. You're golden.
What's happening?
Hello, gentlemen. Welcome,
Hey,
welcome
hello.
to welcome to Portland.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's a beautiful spot.
Isn't it cool?
It is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We love Portland. I mean, for us to be able to do an album release in Portland,
I
Makes us
know.
feel good.
Congratulations. That's
Love it here.
awesome.
love it here.
So we got Mike, or I'm sorry,
No, not
Brian.
my Richard,
Yeah,
and
Brian.
Brian.
And
Yes.
I'm Richard.
Hello,
Okay.
Richard.
you fucked me up earlier.
I did. I was messing with him,
Hey,
and
we'll
I
join you in that. We know there's Aaron.
That's me.
Yeah. And this is
Right.
Mel.
Now,
and then I'm Apple.
Apple.
Yes.
Yes.
So, well, like Apple said, welcome.
Yeah, we weren't aware that you guys were up. I was kind of doing some research last night and today, and I was like, they're in town. Aaron actually reached out to Leigh, and we realized where you guys are at. It would have been like a 50 minute round trip to do in person with everything you have coming up tonight.
So
Yeah, we rolled into town late last night and did just finished a 4-hour rehearsal
Oh,
session.
wow.
Drove back here. We looked up the location, and I was like, well, I kind of know where you're at because remember from being in the Alberta Street
okay, yeah.
when we were with Apollo Sons that night.
yeah.
And we know you guys are in the zone, but where we're at is where are we at? We're south.
I think we're southeast.
Southeast, I
Southeast
think.
Portland.
So,
Okay.
when
Yeah.
we saw it was like at least 40 minutes. We're like, all right.
So this is a big day for you guys, man. Like,
Yeah.
this is a big deal,
It's been a long time coming, man.
dude.
How much of a long time?
I think it was
Well,
like
I mean, our first recording session actually happened in early 2018 before Richard was in the band. And we
Okay.
recorded with our original drummer, Pete Ciotti, and our third singer, which is Johnny Woods, who actually shows up on the record. They did the first session with us. Shortly after, there was a pregnancy and other kids at home, and as the road goes, and we had to keep it moving. And thankfully, we had crossed paths with Richard. So
Richard, how'd you
late
come into this?
2018,
Yeah.
by late 2018, we just continued on, and we brought in Richard. Just Johnny Woods is pretty much a ghostwriter on a lot of the tracks because he was there for a lot of the writing, and Richard loved his lyrics, and it just made it kind of easy. And so we just kind of continued on recording from 2018 through the end of 2019. Our last group session was December 2019. We were getting ready, and Kelly Finnigan, Monophonics, Transistor Sound was in mix mode. So we did one mixing session. I went down there by myself for one mixing session just so he can get the vibe of what we were going for, and then, in March, whatever happened.
Dude.
Yeah.
Wah, wah, wah.
that explains some, because like I say, I do a lot of the research and stuff, and I got very confused when I went to YouTube because I found what seemed like this other band with the same name from Arcata from like 2015-16.
Oh yeah.
And some of the, and then, so that explains. Then I found an article that had your name in it and no other of the band members now. So there's been some changes, like you said, and
Life.
Yeah. I mean, the band started in 2013 as a house band. The drummer, Pete Ciotti, and myself started the group as a house band for something we called the Get Down, Monday Night Jam Night,
All right.
at the venue called the Jam, Jambalaya, which was shortened to the Jam. And Pete Ciotti, the drummer, was the owner. And I was tending bar there also. So we started doing, we've always been doing jam nights. Jam nights in small towns are directly responsible for future bands.
Wow.
So it's like keeping the culture alive. It's been really great to do that. And anyway, this was called the Get Down. And there was, a guitarist and a bassist and myself and Pete, and we called ourselves the Get Down Crew. We knew that there was a Get Down in Portland. We know that there's a Get Down. The show happened eventually, and there was the big old nasty Get Down, like all reputable, awesome entities.
People like to get down.
So we knew that had to switch. So 2013, 14, we became Object Heavy, and it was a completely different group. And the fast forward is, we did some really big stuff. Pete and I had been in Humboldt for so long, so we built a name for ourselves. Whenever we come up with a band, at least we're listenable once. Like, hey, let's go check them out. It's got to be pretty good, And so we would continue to be involved. And so by 2015, the band just started evolving, and I've always been very serious and want to be on the road, want to be doing what we're doing today. And one by one, people fall away, and you just start finding out what fits. So it took a good 4 years, which I'll skip because that could take 4 years. But fast forward to 2018, we came across Richard, and
I'm from Texas. I'm originally from Texas.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I was reading your bio, and it was like, Texas born, moved to Northern California. What? What was the reason you moved up?
Well, I was in a band in Texas, and we won a contest at South by Southwest for jamming the band.
Oh yeah.
And they wanted us to write an album, and we were like, oh man, it'll probably be a little while because we work 9 to 5s, like 12-hour days. Like we were working, our asses off just at our regular jobs. And they're like, well, do you want to move up to Northern California and work on one of our farms and make music at the same time? We were like, yeah, for sure, we'll do that. So that whole band moved to Northern California, and we worked on that farm and made an album, but it didn't stick. So I'm here today with Object Heavy.
Everything happens for a reason, brother.
So how did you get hooked up with Object Heavy though? Was it just through like introduction or?
Yeah, it was through mutual friends. It was I think it wasn't it
Justin. Yeah,
it was Justin, and it was man, I'm drawing a blank right now. But
the
owner of
Joel.
Yeah, Joel's the one that kind of got the ball rolling for that.
Yeah, Richard lived in Miranda, Southern Humboldt. I lived in Arcata, and in Southern Humboldt, Garberville, all that. I do a lot of hip hop, and Justin is Just One, DJ Just One, and we've done a lot of hip hop together. And it was some point where we were doing shows down there. It was like our second home, an hour away from our house, and he was like, hey, you ever met Richard Love? And I was like, no, I think I know, because Thatcher, future past drummer of Object Heavy, they played together in Love and the Zealots. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I think I know him, but we've never met. And he came out one night, and he and I hung out, right? We blazed one up, and we're like, we knew like right away. I was like, like this guy, man. I'm like, you want to get up on one, I knew the band would be cool, and our singer, but everyone's cool, like that. And he got up and sang, and I just knew instantly. I was like, "Oh my god, this is us."
Wow.
And it took a year and a half more because Johnny's partner Lucy got pregnant, and that was right. Again, leads us back to 2018,
right?
And I was just scratching my head because it's like we've gone through 14 members, and thankfully, it was their choices a lot of the time. They just life happens,
right?
Moved away, kids are born, and I'm just a lifer, and I'm just going to keep this going. And after the fourth time, I was ready to throw in the towel. Justin was like, "What about Richard, man?" I was like, and then Leo and Ian, guitarists and bassists, were like, "Well, let's get in the van and go down there." So we got in the van, went down there, picked him up on the side of the damn road at the gate, because he lived up on a hill, and we sat in the van and smoked a joint and listened to some music, talked about what we were doing, and probably didn't need to say any of that because he was just waiting for us to stop talking so he could say he was in the band.
Oh shit!
It was over with. It was already done. I was done with it. Stuff was going south, and I was like, I'm not even like the band. I felt like I wasn't a part of it. I was just singing in it.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't really want to do that. If you're gonna make all the decisions, this is your band.
Yeah, you can't have any ownership of it, and you're the voice of it. That doesn't even make any sense.
Yeah.
No. Well, when Richard opens his mouth and sings,
that's what I was just going to say, Richard, man. I gotta. First of all, Leah sent you guys to us, and thank you, Leah. Shout out.
Yeah, shout out to Leah.
Yes, shout out, Leah.
I put it on, and I was like, "Holy shit! How have I not heard of this?" And your voice, man, it's
so smooth.
It's so smooth and so effortless. And
seemingly
effortless. And the first thing that I thought to myself was like, when do you figure out that you can do that? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, were you a little kid singing at home and mom was like, "Oh my God, keep singing," or what? How?
It was the weirdest thing. It was I'm from the South, so I grew up in the church.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We would always be Monday, Wednesday, and Friday choir rehearsal. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I'd be in there with my mom, you know, not doing anything, but I would be listening and singing along. And then I think it was some song on the radio we were listening to, and I was just singing it. And my mom was like, "Oh boy, you can sing." And I was like, "Yeah, I got it from you. Yeah, for sure." And so I've just been singing like that. The radio, I've never had any training. That's just always been me.
Wait. Back up.
So even now, like you never, like as an adult, you never bother to like take classes or like do any kind of vocal training?
I usually try to at least 2 or 3 times a week do something on like YouTube just to warm up.
Okay, so Richard, how do you preserve your voice then? Like, I mean, you must have like an insane amount of control, clearly, because you have to, you know, push it forward and bring it back and all that. But like, as far as like the health and maintenance of your voice, do you ever lose your voice or anything like that?
I've, you know, knock on wood, I've never lost my voice at all.
Yeah.
And it's been very, you know, scratchy or raspy, you know, after singing, you know, 7 shows in a row, you know, but it's never just been gone, you know?
Wow.
And I'm very thankful for that because, I have no training. I mean, I just try to keep some, you know, throat coat on it or drink something warm and
blessed.
You're natural.
That's what it's called. Blessed. That's what that is.
But so, okay, so when, like, aside from that band that you were in, when did you know that you wanted to be like on stage in front singing like that? Even though you can sing, that doesn't always mean you want to do it. You know what I mean?
I've always been a shy person. I've never really wanted to be in the spotlight, but it was just the people. People were just, they love to hear it. And I like to see people happy and like to see people smile. And I was like, if I can just do this with my voice, why not?
Oh, man.
You know,
right on.
You know?
Yeah.
And just for reference, he like sings all the time. It's like just singing like he could sing all of our days, you know what I mean? Like Family Guy, you know what I mean? Like it just doesn't stop. And I'm like, wow, I think about that. Like, oh, he's got the gift, man.
Some of it's not appropriate, but you know, it goes on.
I'll say that I love to sing. My voice doesn't sound anything like that, but I do love to sing all day, every day.
Please no.
You know what I mean.
You know what though, man? That's I mean, I play guitar and I practice, but that's you practicing all the time. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And it's not even like that's just like we were saying, that's a natural gift. And it really does, like, there's something special there, man. And I'm sure you've heard this before, but like when it comes out, there's a vibe. That's a thing, man. And the band that you have backing you up and all of you guys, like, there's a vibe there. It's the whole thing. And I'm curious about the album that you guys have created. Like, it's a lot of work to do that and to go into the studio and have, you know, a producer from the Monophonics do that stuff with you guys. How does that change the structure of what you're doing to have somebody else producing?
I can answer on that. I've produced a lot of music myself and over the years being in multiple independent bands up in Humboldt, just doing it ourselves, you know. I usually partner with engineers. I'm not an engineer, but I'm a keyboardist and I like hip hop. And so I write instead of sample, you know, and all that. And so on that subject, exactly, like Kelly, you know, I've gone back with Kelly, a few different bands I've been in, we would open up or see him at a festival or they'd come up to Humboldt, and different ways we've crossed paths and always been real cool with each other. And he was like, Swiz, listen, man, you're going to, you know, I think he said it to Pete first. And I walked up, he's like, yo, Swiz is going to geek out in my studio. I mean, I got all the keyboards. I got everything he needs, man. We can get Bernie Worrell about it. He's like, you know, I listened to your first record and it's like, you know, the sound is there. He's like, I don't want to just mix this and, you know, record you and mix you. He's like, I would like to be part of creating the sound. And it was real simple. I was really excited to just have someone step in with outside ears who also
That you respect.
I will respect the heck out of, and has done and is doing amazing things and is continuing to grow, and it has been. And when he said that to me, I was almost in tears. I'm like, oh, Kelly, I'm still working on it. It's just dope. And so the process, I mean, we brought him a bunch of songs, you know, as you would, just like, okay, we have a bunch of songs and we're gonna record them. And he's like, yeah, cool, we're gonna rip all these apart.
Oh, no.
Sound great ideas, but you know, and before we even touched an instrument, he was asking like, what's your, like, before he even really committed, he wanted to sit us down in his studio and ask questions, which were, what's your sound? Like, what are you guys really going for? Like, I hear this other stuff and you guys are jamming, you got a little mix, you're eclectic, you got rock, you got rappers on it, you got some horn players every now and then. It's obviously a collective, a P-Funk collective, you know, we love Parliament. Like I'm come from that school of thought, which is like, how big can we be? How many people can we get on stage? It's just a big party and jamming, and especially if everyone knows how to keep space. So with a 5-piece, 4 instruments and a voice, Kelly was like, I just want to hear what it is you guys are going for. And once we explained it, he's like, all right, so it's kind of like this psychedelic guy. It's like, oh, some hard rock and stuff, but it's kind of sexy. And he was like, basically explaining transistor music. You know, he was like, all right, it's like, I could see how I can bring this to life, you know, and this is my version of how it went down. I was like, oh, he's really digging into what we're doing here. And, he's like, okay, we know what to do. And we listened to songs and he deconstructed everything, and everything was like, you know, it's like, do we really need 4 more bars of this right here? It just seems to sell itself. Let's just put a bridge in here. And so because he's a songwriter and because he can play keyboards, he would come by and be like, oh, Swiz, it's a nice line, but what if we just did it like this? So it was really wonderful, you know, and with different producers, we've got the drummer producer, you know, that drummer is going to get that love because the drummer knows this, you know, guitar player. You're like, you know, I'm sure you work with someone who's a guitarist mixing your stuff. You're enjoying that, you know?
Right. Yeah.
So for me, I was in heaven and I was already friends with the guy. So there was already a connection. So that's how it's different, is that it wasn't us making decisions. It was a 6-man. We had a guy off the bench who was also becoming our coach. And he was
dope.
And he absolutely, I mean, if you hear the music, you can almost, now that you know, you're like, oh, Kelly was involved in that. All right, I see that. It's got a little mono flavor. It's got that transistor sound. We recorded everything on tape. We had to get it done. We were forced to do the best performances out the gate, and then we can go back and make it lush with production. So, and it was Richard's first experience.
Yes, it was my first. Well, I've been in a recording studio,
right?
Like a mom and pop one. You know what I'm saying? Which, you know, Kelly's isn't huge, but it's like way over the top production. You know what I'm saying? It's really, really good.
Right.
And
so that was my first experience. Yeah. And me personally, I loved Kelly before we got to record with him. So I was like, what? When they said that, you know, in the van when we were talking and they picked me up on the side of the road, I was like, hey, we're recording with Kelly. I was like, oh, yeah.
Oh, shit, I'm in. This just gets better.
Everything else.
Wow.
But yeah, man, it was just cool to get that experience and to know kind of what my strong suit was in there and what I needed to work on. You know what I'm saying? Because he's definitely not going to sugarcoat anything. He's going to tell you what you need to do and what you don't need to do. And so I feel like that's what helped me the most, is he was a great leader, you know?
Do you feel like with somebody like that, especially somebody that you're friends with and that you trust, like that, having that guidance and the ideas makes something bigger than the sum of its parts? Makes it greater than it could have been standing on its own. It, like, by taking it apart and putting it back together again and tweaking and fine tuning. Do you feel like what came out of that is just something that you could have never imagined on its own?
For
That's you nailed it. Now I, you know, as much as I've produced music and I'm not that young and I've been doing it a long time,
right?
I'm just listening to stuff and I still get into tears listening to half of this stuff.
Aww.
I like these songs and all the stuff you put out, you know, of course you want to blow up, and some people, we have all different intentions and different versions of what's making it big, right? There's all different things. And like, yeah, would we want to win a Grammy or something? Of course, maybe.
Okay,
how many people do you want to hear your message in the world, right? Like all of them, whether they hear it or not. It's like, so on that, there's that level. And then there's the level of, on the artistry level, like, let's just do something beautiful that has everything to do with who we are and what we actually want the world. Like, if we're mirrors of self-reflection, like, how can we really get to people through our music? How can you hear this music and feel it? You know, and it's like a silly analogy of the dog. You know, if you say "I love you" to a dog, they're not going to start wagging their tail. They're going to think you're yelling at it. So I feel like when you're putting your intention through the microphone, through your instruments, and and the listener can hear that, and you can tell there's something going on there. You think you guys said that at the beginning, like, you could feel something.
I feel it, man. Immediately.
We with intention created something made of love and gravity. The highest of all things in the gravity, when we're souls having a human experience. And it's like, wow, how can we tell a story that has more to do with that than it does to see how many records we could sell? And that was Kelly saying, hey man, let's not worry about that stuff. Let's pay attention to what's going to make this amazing and take our time with it.
Because then
that
it's
was
authentic.
a real telling moment for me. It really, personally, I was like, wow, just when you think you know what you're doing, just like just letting it go and actually surrendering.
Wow, yes. Those are huge lessons, man. That translates to life too, right? Like,
yes,
we don't know what that. I always say this. I'm 51 years old, man. I always thought, like, when we got older, I would look up older cats and I'd be like, yeah, he's got it down. He knows what's up. He's, I still have no idea what I'm doing or what's going on. Like, I've done stuff and I have experience in things, but God forbid, like, I ask me what's going to happen 5 years. I don't fucking know. I'm winging it every day. And you're absolutely right. What you said about, like, the best thing that we can do as people that are putting our talent and our creativity and our art out into the world is just to be authentic and do what feels right to us, because, like you said, we're mirrors of each other. And if we're mirroring that, then people are going to feel it if we're coming from that authentic place. It's and I can see it on your face, Swiz. I could see for real. I could see the joy.
You do look like a proud papa.
Yeah. Enthusiasm and the joy.
We're close in age, and I can totally relate to exactly what you said. And I, like, don't know what I'm doing yet. I just was given 2 lessons, and I'll tell you their names too. DJ Logic. Logic's the man, right?
Wow.
I've known him for a long, long time before we ever did music together, any of that. He just looked at me one day, man, Swiz, you're the kind of brother that just needs to stay in your lane, man. Just stay in your lane. And I was like, huh. Yeah, totally. I'm from Chicago, and let me tell you about switching lanes when you're driving in traffic, man. I'm a professional. So that was also a moment for me. I wasn't trying to do new things all the time necessarily, but it was really a life lesson, helped me solidify my path in music. And then a guy named Mark Roth, friend of the family, and he's like, how's your stuff doing, man? He's like, listen, and he's an amazing business person. So he just looks at me, he's like, listen, man, I don't have much advice for you. I'm not a musician, but all I know is that everybody's number comes up. And for you, there is no reason for you to stop what you're doing at this point, because you've been doing it for so long with such belief and intent with what the end game is, the tree that's there when we're not here to sit under it. Those 2 moments were like, hey, all right. So when it came to Kelly, saying, hey, man, let it all go. We're here to make something special. And all the trying and all the tweaking over the years mean everything, because we couldn't be here without it. But suddenly this record is out 5 years later, songs written 6 years ago, some of them.
Right.
And they mean something today. And a day after the release, like, and we're sitting here with you guys who, like, there's a lot of cool stuff happening right now. It's Color Red, like things that I couldn't imagine being at this age and being independent and on my own with my friends, just trying to make it happen. And so this moment is like, it's all that, man.
I'm glad we could share this day with you guys, man.
It feels like we're on a mountaintop moment with you today,
really cool, man. That I feel that. It ain't easy, man. Like, we started this thing 5 years ago, almost 5 years ago. And I've done every job under the sun, man. You name it, I probably did it. And I never understood why it was taking me so long. And I was frustrated with my life and just not happy. And when we started doing this, all the stuff that I had done in my life came together in one place, and all those different lanes that I had been driving and converged into one thing, and all those talents could be used for this. And it's a crazy thing to, like, at this age, finally figure out what I want to be when I grow up. You know what I mean? And like to have that, like you right now, being able to put that music out into the world for people to experience it after so long. That's that's why you look the way you look. That's why your eyes look so happy, man. It's cool to see.
Yeah.
Also, I was thinking of the notion of if you never stop, you don't really ever fail. You know, like if you're
That's
just
true.
constantly going, you know, and you're just climbing upward or onward or forward anyway, then you're not going to fail. Yeah, maybe things take you a little bit longer, or maybe you got to do things twice a couple times, but you're on your road, on your way, and you're getting these like, sounds like all those people, DJ Logic and everybody that gave you that advice is just kind of like the mile markers, like, you know, 25 miles to exit, you know, 10 miles to exit. It's like, you know, keep in your lane, keep going, be authentic, don't stop. Look, we dropped, you know, Richard right in your lap, and all you had to do was pick him up on the side of the road. You know, like if think about it, you take like a bird's eye view of like kind of like what your life has been like, and just kind of like all the little morsels that have been put there for you to like explore. You could have said no. You and Richard couldn't have got along and been like, oh yeah, he's nice and everything, but I'm not feeling his vibe. But it wasn't. It was like a mutual attraction, and all these like things culminating into this point where you can actually, and you guys are in Portland for your album release, and it's all about growth in this state. This state, things grow because things are watered, and there's just this greenery, and it's very like a vibrant, healing kind of a color. And you know, think something's dead and you try to pull it out and know it's hanging on because it's rooted so down, like,
Yeah.
And so to have an album release party in a place that is full of life and growth and like healing, it's really telling for the future of the band in my eyes, you know.
Awesome.
I like that.
Yeah, man.
Well, I wanted to back up a minute too and ask something. When you said human experience, I want to ask about this because Aaron heard you guys first from Leah, and then he came, hands me the phone, and was like, watch this. And I think everybody just loves the hell out of Jam in the Van.
Yeah.
And he hands me that. He goes, watch these guys. And I'm like, what my question is what is that like? Because Jam in the Van, we've watched so many of them. It is so tight, but so well. I mean, some bands' best sounds we've heard was when they play Jam in the Van. They just like pack you in there, but they make it sound so damn good, and the performances are so vibrant. How was that experience?
Well, Jam in the Van is like my family. Like I know the owner. I went to his wedding, but the experience is it's very family oriented. They get you whatever you need, whenever you need it, whatever you need, you're gonna get it.
Mm-hmm.
But when you get in the van, it's super small. And the sound, it doesn't sound like it sounds like, you know, when you hear it on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of like, is this going to sound good? You know, no, we're in there playing. But then after you get out of the van, they have these TVs on the outside and you can hear the actual production of the song. And it's like, oh, that sounds great.
Oh man.
So it's a great experience, man. Especially if you've been there your second time around, you definitely enjoy it because you're not worried about it. You know what to expect.
And those boys like to party too.
Yeah, we had them. Had them on the show years ago, and they had some stories to tell.
Yeah,
we were last that day,
and
I knew ready to chill.
I knew most of the production crew. The band that I came up here with, one of the camera guys was my bass player. So he was just throwing shots there because they have free alcohol and all that. Just throwing tequila shots. to everybody.
That's
Crazy.
awesome.
Well, that's what-
Which is
it
rare
looked-
for us on stage. We don't really we keep it
We felt
keep it
like
solid, but
cutting loose because it
that
was
day
jamming
was-
the band.
Yeah, man. I mean,
Yeah,
it is
they
jamming the
make it look like a party. I mean, the whole setup. I mean, it looks like a party all around it and everything.
is.
It's just amazing.
in the brewing company that was there was
what was it?
Angel
Yeah, Angel House Brewery.
Angel Brewing Company, and there was not an event, but it was a beautiful day for a lot going on. There was all kinds of stuff, people everywhere, so it was just like a lot of energy, you know. And then there's us into this space and the keyboard set up and janky over here, and
small,
you know, and that's my stuff, but it was like it's just that
And
small. We had to really make it work.
Super unstable.
So
You know?
seeing it on the video afterwards, like, man, these guys are professionals, man.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we had to be professionals too, so we're like, oh, we got it, we got this shit.
It's funny to see it on YouTube because I know it's a van, like it's an RV, but it looks huge. Like the angle that they
the
get,
camera
it makes it
angles,
looks off like
the lighting, the
Yeah.
camera angles, everything. Like you said, they're definitely professionals.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was a Hollywood setup when we got in the van. Once we got our stuff in place, their whole crew was on it. They knew exactly, you know, they're pros. You know what I mean? So it was, that part was like, oh, all right, I forgot we're in LA. This is going down.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
these guys turned this box into something beautiful, and it was really, and it was actually nice inside. But yeah, it's just tiny, man. It was really fun.
You know,
yeah.
you said something a few minutes ago, was that like you're a lifer and that this has been your thing forever and ever. I'm curious, man, has there ever been a moment when you
What is a city without its music?
The legacy of the New York Philharmonic is incredible.
Nearly 2 centuries of history. That's a lot of music and a lot of stories.
I was sitting on stage for the very first time thinking, I can't quite believe this is happening.
Join me, Jamie Bernstein, as we explore the history of the New York Philharmonic. It's the NY Phil story made in New York, a podcast about a city, its people, and their orchestra. Listen wherever you get podcasts.
that you were ready to throw in the towel?
Yes, there are 2 specific ones. The first one's pretty quick. I was in Los Angeles. I moved from Chicago to LA. Was living there for a year. I was with a girlfriend at the time. She hated Hollywood. I lived right off at Hollywood and Orange, right next to the Roosevelt Hotel. And Chinese theater was literally a rock throw away from the place, and it was loud and crazy, and I loved it. But you know, after being there a year, I was with this group, and the singer and just a singer-songwriter had a showcase for A&M Records, and me and Blair, right? It was we're brought in, and this bass player who we had just met, and did the showcase, and it was great from the standpoint of what happened. It was what happened afterwards when the singer decided that she wasn't going to give them her lyrics, and they're not going to jack our stuff. And I'm sitting in the back seat going, listen, I know I just moved here and all, but pretty sure that they're trying to give us a development deal, which means they need to know our lyrics so they know what kind of, you know, what's our demographic. Like in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, no, this is good. And she bugged out. And anyway, it just imploded. And my girl at the time was like, cool. So, you know, your friend said you had this opportunity to go move to Humboldt, and I'm going with or without you.
Oh,
I was like, yeah, you know, and I'm kind of done with this music business anyway. And I was young, and it was like, that was my first experience, was like, this is about to blow up. Then it was like so fast.
Shit.
And I was like, I'm super young. I'm out. And I ended up moving to Humboldt to get away from music. Which
lo and behold,
Whoa, yeah.
You couldn't do it.
Can't run from yourself.
So I found what I was looking for, and it was all that, you know, and I had no idea. I didn't move there for weed. I didn't move there for school. I moved there because I had a friend who had an uncle who lived there who had a bad back, needed help building a fence. And I was like, this is perfect. I can go up into the cuts, into the redwoods, and disappear. I'm good.
Wow.
Yeah.
And look, I know what was to come, you know.
What was the brewing?
And then many years later, 2013, which is the significant part of the story, is over the time between 1998-ish and 2013, I was a pretty prominent keyboardist in Humboldt. played in many local bands. We started a movement of Humboldt hip hop. There was a handful of us, but the whole thing happened here. You know, I'm from Chicago, and there was these kids in the hills singing about weed and getting jacked in the hills and not on the street. And I was very fascinated. And we were playing funk music and acid jazz. We were doing a lot of Grey Boy style stuff. You know, we liked rare grooves. We liked instrumental music. And these MCs were like, oh my God, you know. So over time, I'd found myself embedded pretty deeply into the music community in Humboldt. By 2012-ish, I had been playing with, I think, 6 bands. And that's when I realized I was phoning all of them in.
Oh,
I needed notes for all my gigs. I just was doing that. I wasn't making that much money at the time. And I just wanted to play every day. So I was playing with the reggae group and a couple of hip hop groups, and I had my own group going on, and I'd go sit in, and then some tour was happening. I just kept going, and I would just find myself having notes, like chicken scratch notes, not like charts or anything. Like, and a reggae group I was playing with, the singer was like, man, I love you, man, but I can tell you just phoning it in. And that was the beginning of the crumble. And I was like, you know, and I quit every group I was playing with. I'm out.
Wow.
And 2 imploded at the time. But then about 6 or 8 months later is when we started the Get Down Jam Night on Mondays. So for me to actually have the experience of having a new band be born under that, the culture that we thought we were doing for other people, I actually got to experience it by being there for a bunch of years, and was just like, I'm done. I don't need to provide myself. I'm out. I needed a break. Just completely saturated and just like super empty and didn't want to play anymore. I was like, man, I don't want to do this. But then we started doing Monday nights, and it was easy. And I brought a keyboard, and I let other people play it. It was just kind of showing up and jamming a little bit. And right away, within 3 weeks, I was like, let's get in the studio. I got a bunch of ideas. Like, of course, I just needed a punch in the head, you know. And
you started having fun again.
Yeah.
It sounds like you started having fun instead of being a grind. And wow.
I had some fun
jamming,
improvising, just getting loose, you know. And that's when, you know, I quickly met Ian Taylor, the bass player of Object Heavy, who became the bass player later, you know, and Leo Plummer. These guys were the next generation of Humboldt musicians who were already in cool bands and were way younger than me. But it was like, oh, the next generation is here. This is really good that we're doing this new jam night because it's time. There's all these musicians who are really good and really young. And so, and that still took a couple of years for Ian and Leo to become part of Object Heavy, but we had just built this rapport, and we would always make sure we were jamming together whenever we could on the, hey, who's getting up on stage? And Ian's like, yes, we get up on the stage. So that was a good rebirthing for me. And I'm like forever grateful that I did that, because it totally led to Object Heavy.
Yeah. And so, okay. What about you, Richard? How has things changed since joining this band? Do you feel like it was like fate that brought you here?
I think most definitely it was fate, because the other band I was in, it was like, which I love country music, but it was a country and rock and roll type music. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Which, you know, it sounded good, but it just wasn't. It wasn't me. You know,
Yeah.
It wasn't my feelings. It wasn't how I was. You know, I don't know anything about country roads and cows and I don't know anything about that.
Yeah.
I'm from Texas, but I'm not that dude. You know?
Right.
But as soon as I hooked up with these cats, I already knew when I first heard them play, because they were playing. They did the cover of Childish Gambino, Redbone.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, oh. Okay, there's some players, you know what I'm saying? And, you could throw, because my last band, you could throw them a song and it might take them, a week to learn the song,
Yeah.
You could throw it to them and they'd be like, oh, okay, yeah. 30 minutes later, we're playing the song, I'm singing it. So I was like, if this is what I want to do with my life, this is the right road, the right path for me to take.
So, like, when someone goes to an Object Heavy show, what do you expect? What are, like, you guys were talking about, like, intention and put it out what you want. What's going into that show or that performance? And does it change? Does it vary? Or is it like, when you come here, you're going to get this?
It's pretty, you're pretty much going to know what you get if you've seen us. Like right now, because the pandemic happened,
yeah,
right, and we were suddenly without shows and in the studio, and just did rehearsal, and we all took that month or whatever time off, and we're like, all right, well, let's just go play. And then our drummer at the time, this was post Pee Wee, at Thatcher was like, listen, there's nothing for me to do. I can go down south, stay at my folks' house, get some job, work and do construction. I think it's something he could do during a pandemic. And
he had a boat.
And he had a boat. Yeah. He wanted to go sailing. And we're like, great. Well, we have nothing to do anyway. We'll keep
more power to you.
Yeah, man, that sounds dope. Can I come?
Great, Yeah.
What better time? But Sam Kaplan Good was our sub at the time, and we're like, hey, listen, Sam. I think Leo was like, why don't we just call Sam? We're not rehearsing for a show. We're just playing. So we just started rehearsing and started playing all the time. And,
that pandemic was something else, man.
And a lot of things came out of. That's another question, or not really question, just something I wanted to say. Right before we did this, I was still like looking at stuff today, and I came across you guys. Obviously, during the pandemic, masks on, sitting on the dock by the bay, and you were having so much fun. I handed it to Mel right before we came, 5 minutes before we came on with you. She hadn't seen it yet. She came, sat down. I said, "Here, hand this to Mel. You got to watch this." And Richard comes in and starts doing the neck thing, and you step up. You guys are having so much fun, and you threw your spin on it. There's a whole lot of cool psychedelic kind of leading into it, and that really not a question. Just that was dope.
That reminds me,
you
of
were
something.
having fun.
Can you take us to school a little bit? What is Cadillac Soul?
At the very beginning of Cadillac Soul, we have to just give the nod to Kelly.
Okay.
As it really. We knew we were making this funk music, but we weren't calling it funk. We were like, this is some funky stuff, but we really want to dig into this soul R&B sound. We really want to dig into that. And we would do a take, and you just hear him yelling, "Come on, the Cadillac music. Come on." You can hear Kelly's voice. "Come on, we're doing Cadillac shit." And I'm born in 1970 personally, so I'm like, oh yeah, man, I know all about this Cadillac shit. I saw the Temptations as an 11-year-old in 1981 and didn't know why my dad made me put on a trench coat and loafers to go to the Chicago Auditorium, the Chicago, and I walked up, and it wasn't until we walked up to the place and I learned what pimping really was, and I was like, oh, that's why I'm looking so good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you got to come correct.
See the Temptations and the Four Tops. So, yeah,
Wow. Okay.
This is Kelly. So Kelly really, and not only did I grow up with it, but Leo and Ian, we all really dig into soul music. We really dig it. We dig Motown. We dig Muscle Shoals. I mean, Leo's got a big ass Motown tattoo on his arm before I ever met him, and so, Cadillac music, and the more the album started sounding like the early 70s, I messed around with the 73. It's actually our Cadillac logo is based on a 1973 Cadillac, although some people say it kind of looks like a Lincoln. I'm like, but we still sent the picture of the 73 Cadillac to the artist. That's what it is. Yeah. So that's where Cadillac music comes from.
I got it. I love it, man. And there's something really dope about the mixture of R&B and psychedelia. There's something really magical in there, man, because if you think back to early 60s, those two worlds were were not together yet. They hadn't crossed over, and you had acts like Hendrix that was he was psychedelic, and he would sometimes do some soulful stuff but not really. And then I think it's maybe early Funkadelic really started bridging the gap between those two things and bring Maggot Brain and stuff like that.
I mean, when people ask us, they're like, "Man, you guys are funky." I'm like, but we hit hard. I'm like, well, we're a little more Eddie Hazel side of funk. Yeah, you know what I mean? We like to shred. We like to be funky, and we like psychedelics. I'm a big Grateful Dead fan, and got turned on early on. I got to see the Dead 38 times.
Oh shit!
Wow. And I got to see him probably 12 times while Brent was alive. So Brent Midland, outside of the Stevie Wonder and the cool funk and all the stuff that I grew up listening to, Brent Midland had a pretty heavy weight on my organ stylings and I'm also a drummer. I'm a drumming keyboardist. So the thrash, the growl, the Brent Midland thing is a pretty good part of where I come from.
Wow.
Really? Okay.
So you've got a hip hop and a Grateful Dead in what? I'm sorry, 1988 you said?
Yeah, March 88. I saw the spring tour 88 and I ate some really great mushrooms on this really gross bagel and then found myself on Brent's side and really been like, I'd listen to some Dead, listen to some stuff, you know what I mean? I was getting turned on, but I didn't really put together what kind of funky ass, amazing organ keyboardist
Brent
like
was a
that
force
voice.
of nature.
I mean, what do I even need to say? You
no,
guys
dude,
know.
you got on the bus a year before me. My first show was February 10th, 1989 at the LA Forum. And I was just a young knucklehead punk rock kid from Vegas. Didn't know jack shit, got puddled in the lot and walked in and they were playing Feel Like a Stranger. And I left that show. I went the next night. I came back to Vegas, sold all my shit and bought a school bus and went on tour.
I mean, the stranger at that time, especially with Jerry's synths and by 89, I mean, the oneness between Jerry and Brent was all
locked
that.
in. Yep.
The estimateds that were happening, the cattailing of Brent following everything along me, tied every fucking song together. And it was like, for me as a 17, 18-year-old, I was just like, fuck, I think I'm gonna follow you, dude. You know, thankfully I had the soul background and I liked Tower of Power. And my dad was all into that music. And I, listened to lots of Sam Cooke and Curtis and like the blaxploitation soundtracks and all that stuff is all thanks to my family. And I'm really grateful for that experience. And then I got turned on to the Dead. To the good old Grateful Dead. And that with a little mix of hip hop. And like, I feel like that really helps Object Heavy in ways.
Richard, what's your musical background as far as like your influences?
For me, it was probably like late 90s R&B, like Blackstreet, like Jodeci,
Keith Sweat.
But also mom and pops also had, a bunch of the old school Motown people, always in the car playing along. And then my dad listened to a lot of Tupac and Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Oh,
now you're speaking Mel's language now.
Yeah, well, all of that,
my dad, and like I forgot what song it was, but my mom and her friends were all gathered around, and I was singing one of the songs. I think it's Thuggish Ruggish Bone.
Yeah.
They were like, "How do you know these lyrics?" I was like, "I don't know, just watching the whole time." But yeah, rapping R&B. That's about it.
But so, Richard, what's your experience with the Grateful Dead, if at all? Like, do you know their music? Have you like spent any time getting into their catalog or shows or anything? Never.
No, the only thing is I met Jerry Garcia's daughter one time.
Okay.
That was about it.
Okay.
Swiz. And Melvin.
And
Melvin.
I messed with Melvin. Yeah.
Melvin.
We had
compliment.
Man, Melvin comes with an energy that his auric field is like the size of the planet. He comes in and his voice and his demeanor and his
hymness.
He's hymness. Yeah, he's like he's here and he's here to stay. Like, and he takes his aura wherever he goes. And when he was the very first interview we had in this studio, and we had another studio upstairs, and it was a little bit smaller, so we kind of
like jam in the van.
Yeah, like exactly. Yeah, our old studio was a jam in the van studio for sure. But
whatever works,
Hey, it did work. It worked. It got us to this studio, But he was the first one, and I'm telling you, man, when we picked up the phone and saw him on Zoom, he brought energy into the room. He like what do you call that? Like I was gonna say the wrong word, but blessed. He blessed our room.
Blessed Christ.
He christened our room.
He took us to church and school.
Yes, he did.
Like he always does with everything he does. It was amazing.
For real.
Yeah.
Well, Richard, I'm curious to see if you ever start kind of picking up on a little bit of the Grateful Dead to see what kind of mix that that goes into your own fibers and your own inspiration, because they really have just a unique way of doing like the concert going experience and even just the audience to musician experience. So somebody who's such a strong singer, to kind of infuse yourself a little bit with that, I think it'd be really awesome for you to kind of play with that, see where that goes.
Yeah. It looks like Swiz already has some ideas of some covers. I can picture some songs. I can picture him singing
a Love Light. I could see you guys doing a nice Love Light.
So listen to this, like
we did Shakedown Street.
Richard
is we've turned him on. We've performed Shakedown Street a couple of times.
Okay.
And nothing shaking on Shakedown Street.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like all the so the jazz is dead and the funk is dead. The Motet did their dead stuff, and I was in a dead band in the early 90s, pre-Dark Star Orchestra, post around Uncle John's band era.
Okay.
Kevin Rosen from Dark Star Orchestra was originally from Uncle John's band.
Right.
John Kidlicek was from a band called Hairball Willie. And I was in a band called Conjolka, which we called it that because it was the name of our sax player and drummer, who we just didn't want to be called the dead name.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like all the bands do. And that's not for any reason. It's just that for me as an independent musician and wanting to write music, I was like, let's just do something that doesn't have a dead name.
Yeah.
And still do it. And also, let's not do jukebox style. Like, let's go do drums in space and piss off the bar owner.
Hell yeah.
Go there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I was in this band from 94 to 96, and it lasted throughout. And we still do reunions every now and then, but it's a bunch of prominent players now. So I got to have that experience.
Oh, that's fucking cool.
And so, so bringing some songs to doing a Feel Like a Stranger with Richard. There's a few songs that, man, especially, and then some of the Jerry stuff. I mean, just because of, like you said, the hymns, the
soul,
more gospel approach to things, I could see
Sisters and Brothers.
How about Thrill Is Gone? I'd love to hear. I mean, that if I'm just throwing it out there.
I said almost all of it. I bet he could make me cry doing Estella.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
right. Look, I saw your eyes there. I saw him. Stella Blue, man. Richard, look that one up because for real, that's a powerful. I just, what it is. It's like what it is. It's like I think we're at the point, almost maybe like at the cusp or the precipice of the genre melt, where genres, maybe you're like, okay, what kind of music do you like? And maybe that's how you'll explain it. Yeah, I like hard rock, or I like this hip hop. But really, when you get down to it and you're doing a live performance, there's no such thing as any of that.
Music.
It's music. And I'm going to do good music. I'm going to do soulful music or powerful music. And that's how it's described instead of a certain kind of a genre. It just doesn't, I feel like it just doesn't hold weight anymore as the way that it used to. And to have people that sing in songs that may have never even crossed their mind to sing or to play for that matter, that's exciting. That's super exciting to bring something brand new to yourself, your audience, and your bandmates,
For sure.
Yeah, it's a great learning experience. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not comfortable. I'm not comfortable with, I would definitely second guess myself for a little while, until I felt comfortable, and then we would be flowing.
That's how you grow. Yeah. That's how you grow.
Exactly.
You step outside that comfort and keep moving and going, and that's how you grow.
That's how you're flowing.
So here's the deal. Next time you guys come to Portland, let us know so that you guys can stay here. You don't gotta stay in some shitty hotel.
We got a big house, plenty of room. Man. We put it this way.
It's cozy, guys.
You
it's
toured
so nice.
with that. We put up the Apollo Suns. All of them.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. So next time, man, we'll cook some food and smoke some weed and hang out. And
I'm just curious too, because you guys are up in the same area and everything.
Digging dirt.
Have you guys ever played with Digging Dirt or have any experience with those guys?
Oh yeah, I mean, for sure. They blew up so fast. They were a band doing a lot of reggae-ish funk stuff, and we were just starting out at that point as our group. And actually, we brought them to the Goodfoot and turned them on to the Talent Club. And, they were ready to pop. So it was just like they took off instantly. So for me personally, it's kind of like a cool celebration of the funk music that really has existed in Humboldt for
a little bit before my time even.
Yeah.
And so for a band to finally break through is a big deal, you know, when you think about the longevity of an area that's known for weed instead of music, art,
for
culture.
sure. Y'all have schooled us because we didn't know that funk was, a Humboldt thing at all. And we're like, whoa, these bands that are coming out are super funky and amazing from Humboldt.
When we first heard Digging Dirt, friends of ours, they like put on a song and then they're like, okay, hold on. Now let us throw on a video so you can see these guys.
Who's singing.
We had no idea who they were, where they were from. And it was like, this skinny white boy, he's got a voice like James Brown in his early years.
Crazy, man.
It was like, what is going on in Humboldt?
That's what I was just gonna say. What a weird place to be that funky. You got some hillbilly weed growing weird motherfucker, and now we got this awesome funk R&B soul scene coming out of Arcata and Humboldt. Like that's crazy cool.
Yeah, no, it's cool. I mean, and I moved here into Humboldt in 1997. By 98, I was playing with a band called Spank, and it was Greg Camphouse and Bill Thomas, and eventually Tibbs Chris Noto with Tommy Fitzmaurice, Louis Andrade, horn section. And first time I met them, they were just playing some acid jazz, man. They were like, and my first gig in Humboldt ever was opening for Galactic at a really small brewery, Six Rivers Brewery. And they were on Fog City, and I had no idea who Galactic was. And I love New Orleans, and I had been there like 6 times. So I'm a Meters disciple. I'm like all about that old sound and Dr. John. And so, so funk music was, and hip hop had a little niche. But living up in the hills, it's really not about the industry or doing it. It's just about people really love to be creative there. They're growing their weed, they're working on a farm, or they can go trim and go travel the world. And it's like back in the day before legalization, it was just a real special place.
Yeah.
And it still is. It's just changing now. So, musicians, we were just hidden up there, and most of the bands I played, they'd rather be out in the cuts than be out on the road. So, this is where I stood alone, or at least there were only a few of us that were like, oh yeah, no, I'm way hungrier than that, So for me, it took all these years, but it's really great to see that like now there's a contingency, there's something happening, Dirt's blowing up, and it's like suddenly we're on Apple Playlist the day, and like Leah sends us the email, and the Color Red wants to work with us, and Kelly was producing us, and we just recorded 2 songs with Sergio from Oregon. Like what is happening?
It's happening. It's happening. Finally, man.
It's like it's really fun to watch our scene really start to thrive. Finally.
And I, like you said, we're around the same age, and one of the things that I've come to learn with the whole you're doing something that you want to get big, or you're putting your passion and your creativity into something you want a lot of people to experience, is that it's really important, especially for dudes like you and me that have been struggling and doing it, is like to take a minute when it's happening to step outside of it and take a look at it and be like, okay, and give yourself that pat on the back for a minute and then jump back in and keep going. It's important, man. It's really important.
Yeah.
And this today is that moment for you guys. And I'm really excited for you. I wish we could be there tonight, but it's a big deal, man. A new album is not a small thing. It's hard to do anything in life, and to get it together like that, and to have the producer that you have and the bandmates that you have, it's really something special. The music's amazing, you guys. So congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you. And on that note, I'm really lucky. Like when you talk about our age, I'm surrounded. You're 36.
Yeah. 35.
Okay.
Guitarist, I think, is 29. Bassist is 30.
Wow.
Tonight we're playing with the legendary Dan Weiss on drums. And here I am 15 years older than everyone. So it really does keep me grounded. It really keeps me fresh. It really keeps me wanting to get younger, taking better care of myself.
Yeah.
Hungry.
Yeah.
By the time I was 25, I didn't care if I lived another day, and that's no disrespect to my reality. We all have our thing.
I was there too, man. Same age.
Me and Aaron in the same boat.
I've escaped in every way possible, just being like, we're living another day, whatever.
Cool.
But now, in the last few years, I'm seeing a whole different light, and I'm doing my best to
That's good, man.
live that best life. You know?
All right. So
It shows in your eyes, your enthusiasm, your tenacity.
At the moment.
one last question for each of you. You know, give your younger self or that younger person starting a band some advice that you wish you would have learned along the way.
Me personally, I would say start as soon as possible. Like, start doing those lessons and start. For me, I wish I would have learned, because I don't know how to read music. So I wish I would have took that band class that, you know, I thought was, you know, not cool or stupid. I wish I would have took that and learned to play the flute. You know, either way, you know what I'm saying? It's you learned how to read the music, you know?
Yes.
And just to keep going, don't get discouraged. Shit happens.
Oh, okay.
Shit. What about you, Swiz? What do you got?
I don't want to say I had regrets, but you know, I would have made a few different choices. I'm glad I didn't, because I'm not sure this would be happening the way it is.
Yeah.
So I'm not bummed about any of my path. I just feel like, when these opportunities come up when you're young and somebody says you got something, it's really important to pay attention, even if you're a rebellious kid or wildly independent, or depending on how you were raised or what makes you do things. Like, no matter what, like, the earlier you can recognize what your gift is, the better, because your gift is what's going to get you through life, not that thing you study.
Wow. Damn.
Wow.
All right. We're
Thanks,
good
guys.
at that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, do you have somebody that does your social media for Object Heavy, or do you do it yourself?
I'm doing it myself right now. We're doing our best. Leo's really great with getting the content together. I own a clothing company, and so I do the social media for that too. Fatbull Clothing. We should hook you guys up.
Yeah.
We're musicians and artists who support musicians and artists. But I handle all that, and I've found a guerrilla way of being pretty good at the social media. So I just try to pay attention to what's out there. But we're really close. We're ready. Like with all the things that are happening, we're really excited to get the help we
Hell
need.
yeah. I'm gonna
Nice video for a loan too. Thanks for that.
I'm gonna I'm gonna send you my number on through a DM on Instagram.
Oh.
And seriously, next time you guys come through, you got a place to stay for real.
If you want it, yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Awesome.
I appreciate that.
All right, you guys. Thanks again,
Thanks
and
so much.
congratulations. Go fucking break a leg tonight, y'all.
Yes.
Thanks, Aaron.
Thank you for having us, man.
All right.
Yeah, we
you
really
guys.
appreciate it. I have a lot of friends who love your podcast.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Send them our love. Yeah, send them our love.
All right.
Damn.
Wow.
You know, another instance of like when I heard them for the first time, I felt it come through the phone. And then now I know why.
Yeah. Yeah, after seeing the, all right, I just got to say, it's almost going to say it in there, but he would not know who. That could be John B's older brother.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
That is John B. Within 2 minutes of talking, I'm like, who did the
Apple, you're on my level.
The enthusiasm, the sparkle in the eyes, the like, I got 500 ideas. And we're going to do them all. We're going to fucking do them all. Like that. His clothing line. And then that makes sense. I was looking up his clothing line. That's where I found that article about the old band. It's under that football bowl, whatever. It's like FUTBOL.
Okay.
The clothing line. And that's where that article was about the beginning of the band.
I'm really stoked for them, man. What an exciting, like, finally doing the thing after all that time of like, and that's not easy. What he was talking about, I mean, we're just talking like in conversation, you hear, you know, from 97 to whatever, I was doing this and I was playing in these bands, and like, it's easy to just brush past over what the like mechanics of that actually look like. That's crazy hard shit, grinding and paying your dues and still just in it because he wants to make people feel good.
Well, like he called himself a lifer, and you backed up and asked him about that. It's obvious by how many people's names he mentioned that he's played with in different iterations of bands, other bands he played in, down in LA, up in Humboldt, from Chicago, from
and the whole Grateful Dead thing. Like we really are everywhere, man. You never know.
Yeah.
You never ever know. Like I remember
that one little taste where Richard goes Shakedown Street. He just threw the one. I want to hear him.
What was that? Don't sing all day. What was that about? Being rude to me earlier on.
Oh, I was waiting to see if that was going to come back.
I didn't want to get crazy in front of our guests, but now that they're gone,
I was surprised.
What the hell was that?
You just laughed and let it go. I was like,
I'm like, what did I ever do to you? I don't even sound that bad.
I was kidding.
That wasn't kidding. That was not kidding. You just wait. I'll wait till somebody really important.
I gotta go clean my
on.
room or something.
Yeah.
You should go clean your room.
Everybody take care, hydrate. Oh, no.
It's all right.
Third.
I think Mel's the songbird of her generation.
Thank you,
especially
Apple.
when she's rapping. Rapping is my favorite. When Mel goes and just busts out a rap, starts getting all damn funky.
I mean, we have plenty of video of Mel bussing freestyle.
Bussing
back like Roulette Delgado up on the porch.
Melette Rolgado. Come up with some weird moniker.
So
paint your picture on the side of a building.
If you could have Richard sing one song for you, what would it be? No,
that's. I mean, that's. Yeah, I don't have one off the top of my head. I'd like him to say anything to me, but really, I can't. I can't think right now. I can't think of one right now.
I'll go back to my Stella. Let him listen to that song several times and get that smooth voice and bring some emotion. He would make us all cry. But then there's other ones too, like War. Like War. What is it?
Yeah.
Like he could, like his range. Man, I could just come up with a list. Like, Richard, I want to hear you. It's going to take you several months, but I want to hear you sing all these songs.
Yeah.
I think a Viola Lee.
Are you mean a Grateful Dead song?
No, any song. I'd like to hear him do a Viola Lee. You know?
That'd be cool.
Yeah. You can't come up with one?
No.
Is your mind
because I'm just going to make something up.
Because you're on the spot now.
Yeah, and I hadn't thought about it, but...
Yeah, you don't want to phone it in and just throw it like, Karma.
Kenny G.
Kenny G. He has no
sing a saxophone.
He probably would do it well.
He probably would kill it. So, yeah, go follow these guys.
Yeah.
Follow Object Heavy. Go download their music. Go check them out if they
get on their journey with them, man. They are. You heard Swiz. He's excited. When people are excited about what they're doing, only good things happen.
Yeah,
that's a quote.
It's true. Think like if you go and you have like some freaking bad stank ass attitude, it is not going to come out as if you went and we're like, hell yeah, let's get this, let's do this. I'm going to tackle it. We're going to. Like, if there's no comparison.
That's the difference between doing it with a smile and doing it with a face.
Yes.
Mel threw out one of my favorite quotes in this interview that I've heard you say. I hope you wrote it down.
What? I don't
that one,
usually write my own
it's
quotes
like if you don't quit, it's not failure.
Yeah.
I mean,
if you just keep going, even if it's a flop and everybody booed you or something, and the next day you get up and you continue to do it and you go to the next club or whatever your thing is, that's not a failure. That was a fucking mistake, that was a mistake.
Call it a setback.
You got your mistake out of the way and now you can jam. I liked that.
And is it
learning?
Yeah, I was just going to say, is it even a mistake?
Yeah. Yes, there are certain things as mistakes. Yeah, like if you get a math question wrong, that's a mistake. Or if you, hit a wrong note, those are mistakes. But just because that's a mistake doesn't mean that there's not progress, because then you learn something. You're like, oh shit, my finger doesn't go there, it goes here. Or oh shit, that note isn't this one, it's that one. So like it progresses you. It doesn't keep you unless you, this is a quote from Richard, don't get discouraged. Make a mistake, have your accident, don't get discouraged, keep going. Move on.
It's so hard though.
Of course it is.
A lot of mistakes
of course
can be fun too. You can make fun out of it or something. I always think of like messed up lyrics and stuff and misquoted lyrics.
But think about if you reframe what you think, like on a personal level, what mistake is.
Like if Aaron reframes what Aaron thinks is a mistake.
Like those words failure and mistake. If you fail, it's like some horrible, bad thing. But so what? Like doesn't stop anything. It just is something that happened and you keep going.
And you're the one that stops it if you do the mistake usually.
Yeah, you're like, fine, I'm not gonna do it anymore. Like, why? When you liked it.
Like for me
now I don't like it anymore because somebody else didn't like it when I did it.
So what?
Mistakes, you can have fun. Like I make mistakes all the time. Aaron's very good at pointing them out. It's usually a pronunciation of stuff. But now, like I love pickle spheres.
Oh my god,
sphere.
They're not spears. They're spheres.
They're spheres.
Pickles are round, so
those aren't. They are triangular and they are spheres.
They cut them up out of a sphere.
Okay, anyway.
But yeah, so. Just because you fail doesn't mean that it's static and that it's written and
you are fail now.
No, you just do more stuff to keep going.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's cool to see a dog get his day. You know what I mean? And it's a trip. Well, you could really, for real, I wish you all listening could see Swiz's face.
It really was a proud papa moment.
Those were two. I mean, both of them had very sound answers. But when you asked, like him hanging it up, and he gave that about what DJ Logic said to him about stay in your lane, dude. And then that Michael Potts or whatever it was that told him was like, everybody's number comes up. Just keep doing what you're doing. Your number will come up, man. That's like some pretty heavy sound.
Dude, but wait a minute. Let's back up on that one, because I guess that's true. But you have to be prepared and know what to do when your number comes up.
And you have to be doing your thing with your heart and everything. You can't just be phoning it in like he said he was doing with 6 bands at once.
And what if your number comes up when that happens
one of them,
and then you're screwed?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's like your number comes up. What do you do with it? Because I think that your number can come up on a million things.
In different ways.
Yeah, in different ways. With love, with career, with like personal hobbies, with parents. Like you can get lucky and you can have your day in the sun more than once. You can also reject it too. You can be like, I'm not ready, I'm scared, or that's not really an opportunity, or that's, you can do that to yourself too. You can talk yourself out of stuff.
Yeah, that wasn't my number. And it's like, we saw that is to your number.
Dude, you're holding the paper in your hand.
It says 67.
Yeah, it is.
All right. Well,
that was a great conversation.
Thanks,
Thank you so much, guys, for joining us. And
congrats on the new album. And the new album is called Love and Gravity. Is that it?
Yeah.
Did I get it wrong?
Yeah, hold on. I had it pulled up. I say we just talked so much. We knew it when we started this.
I think it is Love and Gravity. I'm pretty sure. Come on, Apple. You can do it, man.
Love and Gravity, yes.
Hey,
and it just came out on January 27th.
So we will be back.
And I love the album cover. It's a Cadillac jumping off of a cliff with the moon. I love that.
It makes sense now, doesn't
Absolutely.
it? Yeah. Totally makes sense.
And check out their video Alone on Instagram at Object Heavy.
And check out their Jam in the Van. You can listen to it on all the streaming platforms, or you can go to YouTube and watch them jammed in the van doing what they do.
And we will be back on Monday with another No Simple Road Weekly Rewind. When we named that, gave that a title, I didn't realize that it was going to be hard to say. It's a tongue twister. No Simple Road Weekly Rewind.
No Simple Road Weekly Rewind.
Weekly Rewind. It's the weekly. It's like Weekly Rewind.
Anyway,
Rickly Rewind.
Wicket.
We'll be back. What? And until then, I want you to do a few things for us. First of all, smile at a stranger, and then safety third.
Yeah.
Hydrate.
Yes.
Help me out.
I still can't remember the one we're going to work into there. I've been trying all week.
Groove out to Object Heavy.
Yeah. Yeah. And hey, don't put off regular auto maintenance. It's important.
That is important.
Yeah. If it's time to get your oil changed, don't just go another 100, 200, 500 miles. Stop and do it now, or you're going to regret it. Okay. Take care of your stuff. We love you guys. We'll see you on Monday. Peace.
Afro before, so we may think. But it's a tad bit of strange similarities that feed an A equal A complex. The fears of your past do not equal the perplexities of the current road.
Hey listeners, I want to tell you about the April-May 2023 issue of Relics magazine. Features a Dave Matthews Band cover story with additional articles and interviews with The National, Graham Nash, Wayne Shorter, ALO, Ivan Neville, our friend Eric Krasno and Stanton Moore, Marty Stewart, and much more. Check out the latest version of Relics and subscribe now at relics.com/DMB. Thanks, Relics.
Hi, this is Henry Kay, host of the #1 music history podcast, Rootsland. Come with me on a journey to Kingston, Jamaica, where we explore the world of reggae music and the untold stories of some of the genre's greatest legends. From the ghettos and tenement yards where the music was born, to the island's iconic recording studios. We are so excited to team up with Osiris Media, the leading storyteller in music, because as you'll hear, sometimes the story is the best song.